Well, good evening and welcome to the Eclectic Arts virtual studio. I'm Mark Sugiyama from Eclectic Arts, and you might be wondering what in the world is going on. Well, this is my first live stream, and as you know, for many of you, I'm a part of the Alice virtual tour right now. They're doing a benefit show that's helping save our stages, and so I kind of had some time to come on board and try this out myself in terms of doing a live stream on my own channel via YouTube. And so I'm really glad that this is the inaugural live stream, and I'm looking so forward to doing the Fun Table Round 3. If you're not familiar with the Round Table, that's when I've had past guests from the Alice Tour interviews come back. We just have fun with it. I found some questions on the internet. Some of them are totally goofy. Some of them are a little bit more serious. And we just answer and kind of throw anything out there. So this is not a formalized interview. It's just something to have fun. And it's a Saturday night. I already have one beer in me. I'm working on my second one. So, whatever kind of works for you. If you're out there just trying to relax and enjoy yourself and want to kind of take your mind off of your troubles or what have you, this is the show to do it with. So without further ado, let me make sure I've got everything working here. All right, there it is. My first guest is a wonderful opera singer, musician, illustrator, just a tremendous amount of things. I had a chance to interview and talk with her on Tuesday of this past week. So please welcome Nichole Bouffard to the studio. Hi, Nichole.
Hi again, Mark.
How are you?
I'm good. And how are you? Working on the second beer.
Yeah, I'm doing just fine now.
That's awesome.
All right. And our second guest is a veteran of the Fun Table. She's been in round 1 last week and round 2 last week. And hey, she's back for round 3. So let's welcome back from Paper Nova, Christiana Wu. Christiana.
Hello. Wine.
Wine in a can?
I know.
Yes.
What kind
like
of
that Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode? Where they got the okay.
I don't think I watched the episode, but I love that show. Yeah. This is the house wine. It's the white peach nectarine flavor spritzer thing. It's not bad. It's very light.
Nice.
Yeah. It's kind of halfway through this can. So, and there's 2 servings per can. So that's pretty amazing.
All right, so let me try doing this. Yay, welcome to the studio. Yay, this is
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Every time someone says drink. Okay.
And I say all the time. So
oh man, people are gonna get destroyed by me too.
All right, so are you ready to get into these questions? Okie dokie. And so let's start with some of the ones that I found today. I'm going to start from the bottom of the list. If you were the quote unquote opposite sex for a day, what would you do for that day? I'll start things off while you're thinking. If I woke up tomorrow on Sunday in a female body, because I consider myself male, the first thing I would do, completely in full transparency, is I would probably pleasure myself, because I would want to know what that's like in terms of being in that body. And I think that I would too curious not to. And you wake up, you got this, something's missing down here. There's something else there. I think I would just my hands would have to kind of figure things out and see what happens. After that, I don't really know for the rest of the day. I would kind of be interested in almost like seeing what it's like to walk around maybe like a mall or somewhere, or maybe like a beach, and see what women tend to deal with on a daily basis, just being female, in terms of like unwanted attention or catcalling or any of that kind of stuff, and just get a feel of being in someone else's shoes, basically. So that's what comes to mind for me. How about you guys?
I think I would put on a suit.
Ooh.
Yeah. I would go and I would get a really nice suit, like a 3-piece suit with a vest, maybe a hat, and I would just look cool for the whole day.
Awesome.
And feel cool.
I could picture that for sure.
Yeah, I think I would try to like see how easy it is for me to do push-ups at that point in time, or pull up or something. I would have so much more strength, you know. And then I would go apply for jobs that I'm probably more qualified at that point in time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, go boss people around. Yeah, you.
Right.
Well, and I was going to say, Nichole, this is kind of a little side topic, but I think didn't you post something when you were working out before the interview that we did on Tuesday? Like you were kind of doing some kind of lifts or something.
Yeah.
So you got the guns and all that kind of thing going on?
I don't know. I'm working on them. They're little. Yeah, we have you know, I'm in the Army, so you know, I gotta take tests about my physical fitness, and we're starting to weightlift in our tests. We have a new test coming out called the Combat Fitness Test, and it's gender and age neutral. This is like a hot button issue right now because I have to lift the same amount of weight as my male counterparts. So naturally, I'm working twice as hard because I'm 5'2" and 115 pounds. So yeah, I have been working out. I work out about 5 days a week now.
That is so badass. Seriously.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it, but at the same time, there's a lot of issues with that. Like being a we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
okay.
I'm guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing a bit of it was either a video clip or that picture that you had on social media, and I was kind of like, I better say ma'am to this gal before to the interview. Like,
oh my God, I still am so. It's like I do not build muscle fast. So yes, I agree with Christiana as a man. Great.
Excellent. Awesome. Okay. This would work for both of you have music backgrounds, and so do I. If you could have a song play every time you enter a room, what would it be? So your entrance to any room, anytime, what would you want played?
It's Britney, bitch. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, Christiana, anything come to mind?
Oh my gosh. That one's a hard one. Oh, I don't really have one right now. Maybe it would like be some sort of like heavy distorted guitar intro or something. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't even think of the right artist for it. It must be Led Zeppelin. It might be that one Led Zeppelin song. I don't remember what it's called. I'm terrible at song titles and stuff, but it's the one where he's just like, yeah.
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 I remember that. Yeah, I don't remember.
Zeppelin. I'm terrible at that. So
yeah, the land of the ice and snow and all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm terrible with their song titles. But I think for myself, I actually used to think about this because I'm into sports. So I thought about if I was ever the closer on a baseball team, you come out of the bullpen, to come save the ninth inning, do that whole walk to the mound. I wanted to hear the opening riff from this band called Accept from the 80s. And they had a song called Balls to the Wall. And it starts with this really heavy guitar riff with a lot of attitude to it. So if I could have that, play in any room that I walk into, it would be kind of like, oh shit, Mark's here.
That's amazing.
That's
so
what
Mark, if you were in a woman's body, I don't know if Balls to the Wall would really be appropriate anymore. So maybe we should switch our songs. So you get It's Britney Bitch, and then I'll get It's Balls to the Wall.
There you go.
One of us will get the other one.
That works. That's a really good point too. Okay. If you were a kitchen appliance, which one would you be and why?
What? A kitchen appliance?
Any kitchen appliance. Yeah, I found these on some pretty weird websites today.
That's pretty good. I think I'd be a toaster oven.
Okay.
Because I'm small and I get hot.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Christiane, anything come to mind?
Literally, I mean, it's probably not even related to me, but like the first thing that I thought of was a garlic press because I'm kind of lazy and like, you know, like it's not quite minced garlic, but it's like it does the job, you know? So I'm like, yeah, like and it's like something that's like not in everybody's kitchen drawer. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, just, you know, when it's there, it's like a little special and it's used when it needs to be.
Yeah. I actually think I need one of those because I just use minced garlic.
Yeah. It's like it's just so much more. Like I have definitely minced a lot of garlic in my life, but I'm like, man, you know, sometimes I just get so tired of, you know, like it's being all sticky, and then you have to clean more, and it's just like a pain in the butt. And so just stick it in the garlic press, and it's like close enough, you know?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you put the clove in and you squish it?
Yeah, you have to make sure you de-peel it first so it doesn't get super stuck in there, and then like put the clove in there.
Yeah. Let's try that. Yeah, because dicing that garlic ain't happening.
Yeah.
So convenient, compact, unique. That's your one.
Yeah.
Gosh, for me, kitchen appliance, I'd probably say a microwave because it's something that gets used all the time, and it's not very good for you because you tend to put frozen things in it or whatever to heat up, or like leftovers that maybe people didn't want, or you don't got anything left. So I think that kind of represents me. And I also use my microwave probably the most out of anything when I should be cooking on the stove or, you know, doing things that are healthier for you. So I'm going to pick a microwave because that kind of reflects a lot about me.
I like it.
Love it though, man. The microwave is like such a kind of like universally well-known, comfortable, you know, appliance, and that's why we love you, Mark.
Oh, that's really nice. You know, what's interesting is that I just thought about this. The microwave that I have, I actually got back in college, and it still works.
Yeah, reliable.
Yeah, that was back in like what, 91? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was just, man, that thing is still plugging away. Good grief. Okay. Would you rather own a dragon or be a dragon?
Oh my God.
Asking tough questions.
That is so tough. I do have a dragon tattoo.
Oh, cool.
So I'll try to show it. Wait, I can't. Hold on. We're getting crazy. We're getting crazy.
Whoa. Yeah. Cool. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Oh, that's so cool.
Dragon.
There we go. We've had our first tattoo showing.
There you go. Not the easiest place to show all that.
Yeah, would you want to be one or own one?
I want to be one. I want to be a dragon.
I'm with Nichole. I would be one.
We're gonna be dragons.
See, and I think the exact same thing. All three of us are thinking the same thing. I'd want to be one so that I could fly, I could breathe fire, I could do all those kind of things. And if I owned one, there's probably a chance that they'd probably get away from me or something and then come torch me or something or where I live. So I'd rather be one.
Yeah, be a dragon.
Yeah. Or they could get killed by the Night King, you know, like in Game of Thrones, you know, and then you wouldn't have a dragon anymore. So, like, at least if you were the dragon, you'd be responsible for your own survival.
Yeah.
Yes. As long as you don't have that little, you know, Achilles heel like Smaug did either. You don't want that because then you're gonna have a bad time at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just said a spoiler, so my bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's all good.
I think everybody should have be caught up by now. So
Hopefully.
yeah.
All right, here's a desert island question. Would you rather pick being alone on a desert island or being with a person you can't stand? Those are your two options. So what would you pick if you had to be on a desert island, either by yourself or you're there with somebody you just don't like?
Oh man, I'd be there with someone I don't like because I don't want to even you get so bored that like even it would be a godsend just to have someone annoy you. at some point. And I think through that annoyance, you probably would end up like caring about the person. It's like, I hate you so much, I care about you.
That's a good point. Like I initially was like, oh, I would want to be by myself, but like I think the human nature is so akin to like inclined to want to be around people that we would get used to them and then maybe collaborate or start working on things together, like building a raft to get out of there together. Like I think there are things that for sure that you could work together with somebody on, even if you don't get along.
Right.
Yeah. No, my mentality is the same way with both of your answers. That I would think that even if you could be on other ends of the island initially, if you don't like each other, but eventually you're going to want to have some sort of human interaction, I would think, or like Christiana said, maybe put your minds together to find a way to get off that island. If it was just me, I would probably start to go crazy, just not having any kind of interaction with anyone after a while. So it makes more sense to try to roll the dice on someone I don't like, and maybe we can find the middle ground at some point as people. I think that would be a better chance, a better shot. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll keep on going here. All right, this should be somewhat easy. What was the last thing you binge watched? Or maybe not.
I can just I think the last thing that we binge watched was actually an anime called The Promised Neverland. And very briefly, without like spoiling anything, it was about an orphanage out in the middle of nowhere where the orphans, they would eventually find their families, and they would get shipped off. But at the end of the day, they weren't actually getting shipped off to their family.
Oh, wow.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. What is it called?
The Promised Neverland.
Okay. And is it on Netflix or on?
I don't remember if it was on Netflix. I think my husband, he might have like found it on Crunchyroll or some sort of anime platform. I'll have to like, if you're interested, I can definitely let you know.
Yeah.
Platform that one was on. It was pretty interesting in the beginning, and then it kind of slowed down in the middle a little bit. Like it was like meandering a little bit, and then it like kind of had a really good resolution. So that was pretty interesting. Yeah, I would watch season 2.
Awesome. Cool. I've been watching a lot of UFO documentaries, like constantly.
Okay.
I'm so fascinated by it. I'm a cynic though. I don't think any of it's like real. But I keep watching it hoping that someone will change my mind. Like that's what keeps me watching it, because I'm like, I need more information. Like there's too much going on here and I don't believe it and I want to. So I'm gonna keep watching this until someone says something.
It's pretty fascinating. Yeah.
And the psychological aspect of it too. It's like, are these people insane? And if so, like, how do you have these mass hallucinations? Like that, some of it's so fascinating. Like the one in South America in like 1912, like where they thought they saw the like Virgin Mary, and it was like thousands of people said the sun was like moving in the sky. So there's been these like eyewitnesses for forever. There's been these crazy things, but how much of it is psychological, and is that even like legitimate? I don't know. It's interesting. So that's what I feel very educated in ufology now.
Wow. I know some people binge all the time, especially when the pandemic happened. They're Netflixing, forever. And I'm not really one of those people. But having said that, the last thing that I binged was definitely Life is Easy, which is this New Zealand TV show. I just interviewed one of the co-stars and the producer on Thursday for the Alice tour. And the show was so intriguing and so funny to me that I just kept on watching it. And the next thing I knew, I was through all 8 episodes in 2 days. So to me, that's binging. And I've since gone back and rewatched it again. So
nice.
I definitely recommend that show for something a little bit different. It's a different type of thing. It's LGBTQ based as well. And it's a body swap, just like what they did with Freaky Friday with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. But it's with 2 best friends. One is a straight female, and then the other is an openly gay male, and they switch bodies. Yeah, and all kinds of different things come from that. So,
Wow.
life is easy. That's what it's called. Okay. Okay. I said that other one, the one I just said should have been possibly easy. I think this one should be. Name one pet peeve of yours. What bugs you? What gets under your skin every now and then, or maybe all the time?
Is this where it's going to get dark? is this the moment?
Anything come to mind?
Yeah, I will say, I mean, mine's a little serious, but hypocrisy really bothers me. Just like like when people are unaware of themselves and they project, that type of hypocrisy just like really grinds my gears.
Yeah, no, I would be right there with you in terms of that. That's a really great answer. That's definitely a pet peeve of mine. Christiana, anything come to mind?
I was gonna say something like very surface level, like, oh, when you're saying there, and there, and you don't actually, spell it correctly, or it's and it's, and whatever. But definitely, I think hypocrisy is a really good one. Like, I have a hard time with people who talk too much and don't actually back up what they say, and through action, So like, if they say, "Oh, I'm really good at something," and then they're actually not that great at it, like from a skill level, it's like, what are you? You can't boast about it when it's not true, Like, or at least have some humbleness or humility or something about it as you're learning, as you're going,
Yeah. There's
Totally.
a lot of that in the music world.
Yeah.
A lot of talkers. It's better just to not say anything and just do your stuff. let people know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say off the top of my head for myself, and I understand like if you have to do like a little white lie for certain things, but I don't like it when people like just bold-faced lie to me. And I'd much, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, I'd rather have you just tell me like what's actually going on instead of you just trying to say something to my face that maybe, I don't know, spare my feelings or make me feel better or whatever it is. I should just say what it is. I'm a grown adult at this point. I'm 50, so it's like just say it. Especially when you get caught, because what happens a lot of times I'm finding these days is that when someone lies to me, then I'll see something on social media, like let's say where they said they were going to be or what they were going to do. It's like, you know what, that's fine if you didn't want to do this or something, not this, but I mean, just in general, just say so. I'm a big boy. I can deal with it. But so it gets under my skin when I find out that someone lied to me and they could have just been truthful about it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's something you want to learn or wish you were better at?
Dancing. Dancing. I am so awkward, and like it really depends on the type of music. Like I think if it's more of like just a general like electronica EDM beat, it's like, oh yeah, I can kind of do whatever. But like if it gets more to like, for example, hip hop or like ballet, I'm like, I have no idea how to do any of this. I'm so terrible at all of this. I have 2 left feet in that case, and it's really uncoordinated. So like in terms of like athleticism, I'm actually very, very unathletic. Like and that's a shot right there, right? I wish that I could have focused more on athletics growing up so that I could have that routine and have that regiment, but I do not have that. And so that's definitely something I wish I was better at.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I really want to get better at Ableton Live.
Ooh, yeah.
I've been using it this week, and I'm getting better, but like I wish it came faster. me. That's my music right now. It'll get better. I'm no audio engineer.
I think that's pretty, like, it's super achievable in that sense, like, versus like, oh, I should have like learned how to do ballet when I was 7 years old. You know, that's super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to expand. I want to be able to write my own like samples, and I don't want to be using other people's samples all the time. So, you know, even though you can splice them up and use them freely, but I think it'd be really cool to, you know, be super authentic with my samples. But it's not sounding great right now.
You'll get there. You'll get there for sure. Gosh, what I want to learn or be better at. I think if I could learn something new, I took Spanish in high school, and I don't remember like much of any of it. And I really wish I had either learned or retained that and continued on, or that I learned something brand new, like say Japanese. Since I'm Japanese, I don't speak any of the language whatsoever. So I think that would be just something on a personal level. I would love to be able to, you know, stick that feather in my cap. And I wouldn't necessarily even need to use it. I don't need to go to Japan and see if I can converse with Japanese people. Just for myself, just to kind of know that I've learned the language of my heritage.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, language, that's always something like you want to pick up on. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, this is kind of a generic question, depending on how you look at it. What is a turn off for you? So you can figure out like how general you want to go with that or how specific you want to go with that.
I think I'm gonna go with what Christiana said earlier too, like the people talking like about themselves, and it's just all hot air. Like that's so unattractive. So bad. And you know within like 30 seconds, like, oh, it's going there.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I agree with Nichole and Mark, like about the hypocrisy and the lying part, which is like kind of all ties in together, right? It's like it's harder. I think it might be harder to detect the hypocrisy until you kind of know the person a little bit, and the lying and the competence.
Right.
So it's kind of like, and then before you know it, you're kind of potentially getting hurt already, you know, because you've already gotten into this some whatever level of relationship with this person, and then they kind of disappoint you, you know. So I for sure think that, so some level of lying or talking too much fluff, or you know, being hypocritical for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I think for me, a huge turnoff is poor hygiene.
Ooh. Yeah.
I mean, I understand like if it's one-off occurrence, you just went up to the mountains and were hiking all day or something. I get that, but if it's like a recurring thing that you could actually do something about, it's not like a chemical imbalance or something else going on with you. That I'm sorry, that's a turnoff. It just is.
Yeah.
It's like ooh.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think one of the hardest things, not about in terms of like a perspective of the person, but if you've ever had to explain to someone else that they have bad hygiene so that they can fix it. See, as a former teacher, I've had to do that. And having that conversation either with a child or even with an adult about, hey, you're trying to be really polite and nice about it because it's so embarrassing to have to bring up. But I've had to do it. And I remember one time with the college students that I used to manage, I got a text saying, it's like, Mark, there's a problem with one of the students in my classroom. So I came over there. I thought it was like a behavioral thing. And he came out into the hall and was like, one of my students, man, he is just really, really ripe. And I don't know what to do about it. And so I was like, I gave him the tips of what I would do. And so you can go in there and pull him out and talk with him about this. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, I gave him one out. I'll do it. And he's like, Mark, you do it.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, so I had to bring a kid out that I didn't know from Adam and kind of explain to him. And he'd been hiking the whole previous weekend with his family, so it's not his fault. It's actually his parents' fault for not, having him take a shower or a bath or something. They sent him off to a camp on Monday like that.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that was really unfortunate. But I still remember I told him, I said, I'll come back and check on you tomorrow on Tuesday. And right when I got there at 9:00, he was like, smell me. And I was like, Hey, I don't smell anything. You must have taken a really good shower. I took a really good shower. I use all kinds of soaps and everything. It was actually
Really cute.
yeah, I was gonna say it was really cute. So obviously he took it the right way, and all problems were solved, and we just moved on with our lives. But those conversations are just wow, they're really awkward and really hard to do. I don't recommend them to anybody. Yeah. Oh, so this kind of appeases to my heavy metal side, my darker side. I love horror movies and all this kind of stuff. And you don't have to come up with 5 items. You can just come up with a couple items. But if I were to summon you via black magic, what 5 items would I need to conjure you in the 5 corners of the pentagram?
Fun.
So how am I going to conjure you? What kind of things do I need to have, sitting on the floor or putting the pentagram together?
Oh my goodness. Woo, that's fun. Maybe some coconut perfume.
Oh.
Guitar strings.
Ooh.
Mic cable or a microphone. An opera score. And maybe some paints or something. Is that
Okay. Yeah. No, that completes the pentagram. I can conjure you now. So
it's pretty bitch.
That's a good one. It got me thinking. I was like, oh, I need to think outside of like candles.
Yeah. Hey, put a candle in it.
Yeah. I think in one corner it would have to be Shirley Manson, like the person, from the band Garbage, and probably like something that's not sacrificed, a beagle, like a little, medium-sized beagle. And I can only really think of one other thing. It probably would be a clapperboard, like for in film, so like in movies, like so just like clap. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else at this moment in time.
Okay, well that'll conjure part of you.
Yeah.
We'll have like half your body show up or something if we do it. Oh gosh, I know for myself, you would need to offer some of your own blood. So some of your human blood of whoever this person is on one of the corners. You definitely need. I love what Nichole, you had said. You would need to have a guitar string since I'm a guitarist. So that's number 2. You need to have a let's say some sort of thing to do with photography. So it could be a lens cap. It could just be like a picture even. That's on corner number 3. Corner number 4, I would want a gosh, it would have to be like some sort of chip, meaning that when I snack on stuff, I snack on salty stuff. So you need to have a Dorito there or a Frito or something on the corner. And then the 5th one, a beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. And that'll bring me forward to your world.
What kind of beer?
Oh, geez. Anything that's a craft beer, no Bud Light, no Coors Light, none of that stuff. It's got to be something that someone actually handcrafted, and you can meet the head brewer if you wanted to, if you went to that brewery.
Nice.
Like what I'm drinking right now.
Nice.
There we go. Okay.
I like that one.
How many second graders could you fight off before you become overwhelmed?
What?
This is a real question from the internet that I found today, looking for questions to ask in the group setting.
Like fighting them off mentally or like physically?
Physically.
Right.
How many second graders could you fight off before you become overwhelmed? So they're coming at you one at a time.
Any rules here, if you can mentally trick them, that works too. I like it.
Oh my gosh.
Probably, I don't know, probably 5.
That's a good number. That's a good number, 5.
I mean, they're kind of dumb.
I was gonna say like 1 to 2,000 physically, just Ip Man, everybody just like, and like throw them, and then they have to come running back, and then you have to throw them again. Then eventually they'll get really tired and take a nap.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've worked around second graders during the all their parts of my life, and so knowing how some of those second graders were. And how I am like right now as a 50-year-old man, I could probably deal with 4.
Oh.
I think I could deal and like take their legs out or hit them on the head or something and knock them down. And then, but when that 5th one comes in, it'll give the other ones time to get up and do something to me. And if they get me down on the ground, forget it. They're going to stomp on me and pull out my ears or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah.
If they have weapons, that's a different game.
Yeah, and it also depends, like maybe on their size. And some of them are really aggressive little guys that I had to try to calm down at times.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it's like, but there's also ones that are super nice and sweet, and like they wouldn't want to do anything. They'd be like, "No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this." But I think 4 I could probably handle. But yeah, anything more than that, it would be bad times.
Yeah,
maybe 5's a lot. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, well,
one for every.
My 1 to 2,000.
Yeah. You were thinking big, so you had a game plan. We're just throwing punches here, so that might be just 2 to 3. That's a big game plan.
Well, I was going to say with Nichole, you've been working out 5 days a week, so you probably could take on the 5.
I don't know. Some of them might be pretty like close to my height. I don't know. How tall is this second grader?
They probably wouldn't. They wouldn't hit 5'1". They'd probably be more like in the 4 foot something at the tallest.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think you
so
can.
Maybe 2 or 3. 2 or 3.
I love the fact that as a former teacher, I'm talking about shit like that. Okay. Do you identify more with coffee or tea?
Identify or enjoy?
The word was identify, but I would say either way.
I love tea, but I drink more coffee. I think tea is amazing.
I think I'm the same way. I drink a lot of coffee. I will definitely enjoy tea. My family is like more of a bigger tea drinker, and I will definitely drink tea when I'm over. But like on the day-to-day, more coffee.
Yeah, coffee's easier to access. Seems like.
Yeah.
But good tea is amazing.
Okay, yeah, maybe you're drinking Alice tea. I had to throw that in.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did the tea. They had tea.
They do. For me, I don't drink coffee at all. I'm one of the few people that I know that doesn't drink it at all. If it happens to be in my beer, then I will drink it. They do have coffee beers. So I guess I default to tea. That's what. And even with tea, though, I don't really drink much tea. I think my family probably drinks more tea than I do, but I'm not opposed to it. I know there's a lot of beneficial things from tea and all that kind of thing, but I don't gravitate towards it. If I drink any kind of tea, it's actually probably iced tea, which is not really the same thing, but it's still tea oriented.
Iced tea is really good.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Well, I kind of I talked about right off the top, the one kind of thing, what I would do if I switched bodies, about pleasuring myself. So I don't know if I want to go here, but what the hell? We could all plead the 5th if we want. That's fine. How often do you pleasure yourself in a week?
I'm going to no comment on that one.
That's fine. Again, no pressure.
You were thinking we were hitting the vodka shots at this.
Oh,
That question.
Never have I ever. No.
I will only answer that in a generality kind of thing. I will say more than once a week. That's all I'll say.
I feel informed, Mark.
Yeah.
all the information you didn't want to know. Okay. What celebrity would you pick to exchange lives with forever?
Ooh. Ooh. My goodness.
That's a tough one.
So many of them have messed up lives.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's one that's like got it really good? I mean, there's a couple that seem to have it really good. They don't get picked on. They got a lot of money.
If I went with some of those things that you just mentioned, Nichole, off the top of your head, the person that actually came to mind to me, which I didn't even know what I would say to this answer or to this question, I would pick Keanu Reeves for me. I think he's pretty well liked. He's known to be a really good guy with the fans and a regular guy. He's got tons of money in the bank. And his career's still going all these years later. Whether he's a great actor or not, I mean, that's debatable. But he's not known as being a jerk. So
Right.
I think that's one of the people I guess I would pick. That was tough though.
That is a really tough question.
Because you're right too. Because there's so many things. Everyone has their flaws. Everyone has things going on. So if you're going to be that person and have to take on that whole thing that they deal with from every single day, the paparazzi and people that don't like you and all the haters and all that kind of stuff, especially if you're super popular or if you're perhaps even a politician, that gets. I don't know if I'd want that.
Yeah. I can't think of one.
Okay, Christy, anything come to mind? You want me to move on?
I mean, like someone that I always really like admired and someone that I kind of have a crush on too is Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He like does something right now. It's called Hit Record, which is like a collaboration platform for a bunch of artists, and you can do all kinds of stuff, like whether it's music or writing or filmmaking or whatnot. And like, he has the freedom and abilities to like offer that to people right now, which is pretty cool. And then there was like one other person where I was like, oh, like someone that I thought was really cool, like growing up, was Sarah Michelle Gellar, because she was Buffy in the show, and she was amazing. She got to kill vampires and stuff, and star in those the horror movie too. Like I think it was The Grudge, right? Like so she had like a different kind of like tenure in that sense, and yeah, just like some of the more like that generation of actors, I guess, is where I was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool to be them.
Yeah.
What's interesting with Sarah Michelle is that I used to watch her on All My Children, the soap opera. She was on that before she got the Buffy role and all that kind of thing. So, and I got turned on to that soap opera because my mom used to watch it all the time. So if you're wondering, like, why are you watching All My Children? It's like, because I used to watch it sometimes. Yeah, she was Kendall. She was Erica Kane's daughter. If I remember. God, I remember all these weird things.
Yeah.
But what is she doing now? Has she been in anything recently?
I don't know if she's been in anything. I know she's probably doing more like I can only speculate that she's doing more like home, like lifestyle type of things, I'm not quite sure though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you could hang out with any cartoon character, who would it be and why?
Cartoon character. I don't know. Second blanking in a row. I think cartoon characters. I mean, I guess what comes to my mind is, we were talking about the Beatles' Yellow Submarine the other day on Alice, and I love the little Jeremy character.
Oh.
Always loved him, and he's the one they sing "Nowhere Man" to. And Tither, and he says everything in prose, and he has this little British accent, and he's a fluffball with a weird face, and I just love him. And he's kind of inspired my best friend Fear character, because Fear's just this little puffball, which was like Jeremy in the Yellow Submarine. So that, yeah, I'd hang out with Jeremy.
Okay, that's great.
And lonely, and he's a fluff.
All right, Christy, anything come to mind, or you want me to go?
I was thinking of So like my initial like what I grew up with was like Bugs Bunny, and I think Bugs Bunny is kind of like he's just kind of this guy who has like a lot of swagger in his own way, and he's very sly and everything. I don't think I would want to hang out with him. I just think I could learn something from him and navigate life. As far as somebody that I would hang out with, it's the character of Aang from The Last Airbender. I think it's Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he's like he's a monk, and he like has all these like special powers where he can bend air and he can bend fire and water and earth, and he's like really he's a kid actually, and he's like super powerful, but like such a good, like well-rounded, fun person, and he could like totally fly you on a cloud of air for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. And didn't they make that into a movie, a live action movie?
They made it. M. Night Shyamalan made it into a movie, and it was terrible.
Oh, that's worse. That's
yeah. I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the best TV shows of all time.
Yeah.
Heard that.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. For myself, I don't know. I mean, off the top of my head, what came to mind was actually Wile E. Coyote. And the reason why I wanted to hang out with him is that I want to help him finally get the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
I want to scheme with him, put our brains together. You do this, I'll do that, and we're finally going to get him.
Right.
And with my luck, we'll never get the Roadrunner, and I'll be just like, it would be like two coyotes that can't ever get to him. But that's what came to mind. I guess the other one to me also would be if I could hang out with Snoopy.
Oh, Snoopy.
Yeah, and have maybe Woodstock with him, and we're kind of hanging out doing their thing because he's so cool and fun.
That's so cute. Snoopy's great.
Yeah, one of those two. I actually had a stuffed Woodstock when I was a kid. I used to have him on my pillow and everything. So, and I have Snoopy and all that too. And my family still brings up the fact that do you still have Belly Button, which was like this stuffed, I think he was a dog, and my mom knitted like a little sweater for him. I still have him somewhere in my place because I refuse to get rid of him. So there's a blast from my childhood. And he had a belly button. That's why I called him Belly Button. There's a little black belly button on this dog. Dog. So he it was kind of my precursor to Snoopy and Woodstock and everything else. So what's the strangest, or I shouldn't say strange, what's a non-scary dream you've had that you remember? A non-scary one. Could be something recent, could have been something a long time ago. It doesn't have to be recurring, just something that a dream that you kind of remember.
My dreams are insane. They would take all night. My dreams are literal like stories.
Wow. Yeah.
Focus. Yeah. Not all the time, but those are the ones I definitely remember. Yeah.
Okay.
It would take all night. I'm trying to think of a short one though. Oh, I don't know. They're pretty crazy. Like this one dream I had recently was like, this was before I was watching the UFO documentaries, but I was like battling something on Earth, and it was like they were alien creatures or something, and it was pissing me off, and I just remember like I had to fight them, and they were invading everything, and like people that would, they would be, people were them, and then they would become people, and I was fighting them. And then my life just kind of went on, and I was this like warrior against these alien creatures. And then at the end, I died, and I got brought up to their planet or their ship. And I was in this like hospital gown and they were surrounding me, and they were telling me that this whole time I was actually sent down there to like do this job for them. And I was actually an alien. And like that I was back home with them, and that it had all been completed, because I had been so confused. It's like, why is this happening? Why am I like, and they're like, it's okay now, everything's all right, you're home. And it was all supposed to be like that. And I was like kind of mad too. I was like, why would you do that to me? Oh my gosh, super weird.
Wow.
There you go. I'm an alien.
Out of this world.
Yes.
Oh,
I hope that was entertaining.
I remember one that I had that to me was actually more like kind of a pseudo nightmare because it's one of those dreams or nightmare, depending on how you look at it, where I was running from somebody or something. I still don't know what it was. I just remember it was dark. I'm running up this hill. There's a chain link fence, and if I can just get over the fence, I figure I'm in the clear and get away from whatever this thing that's chasing me. And then when I try to get over the fence, I've got the old style trash can lids for hands. So I'm doing this on the fence. Like I can't climb it at all. And the thing's getting close. Yeah, and this thing's getting closer to me, and then I would wake up. So I never died in it or anything like that. But it was just like, oh, where'd my hands go? I've got trash can lids for hands.
That's so random.
I distinctly remember that dream. That happened in college a couple of times. It was recurring.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it meant.
It probably meant you felt helpless.
Mm.
You know,
That's true.
you felt helpless. Like you felt like you were missing something you needed.
That's true, because that would explain why I was not able to get out of that situation. I was stuck in this situation because of what was on my hands, but in reality it could have been that I was feeling helpless in real life about something. Yeah, that's very true. I went to college in a country kind of town, a rural kind of town, and so in the summer times all the college students would leave, go back home or whatever and work summer jobs, and so most of my friends and everybody would leave, and I was still there doing summer sessions twice. And so it kind of becomes something like, I bet you that was, now you think about it, all these years later, you may have actually hit the nail on the head, that I was really kind of feeling helpless about, I want this to be going on, but it wasn't happening because everyone had split and then it wouldn't be coming back to the third week of September.
Yeah.
Wow. All these truths.
The thing about dreams is like, people are like, oh, dream interpretation. You look at the people always want to look at the images because it's weird, but really it's not that. It's the emotion underneath it. When you start to analyze the dream, ignore the images because that can be anything. It's the kernel of emotion that's happening under those. That is really always going to be completely insightful into your life because it's raw. It's your raw emotion. It's like your unfiltered emotions. And it can be visual on top of it.
Yeah, no, that's really good, really good advice. Christiana, anything come to mind that you want to share?
Yeah, like initially I was gonna share like some super random dream that involved Dragon Ball Z and whatnot, but like it was just so random. But then when you both went into your dreams, I was like, oh, it brought up a specific very short dream for me. And I remember in this dream, my dad was crouched down into like a prayer position, and it was because he was affected in some way where like he had already like left the earth, so like, and in order for me to stay grounded on earth, I had to eat like a piece of candy. It was like super weird. Like I had to eat like some sort of like chalk ball of candy or something. And if I didn't eat it, then I would float away from earth too. So I remember floating, I was starting to float out into space, like past the house, past the earth, and I was reaching for that piece of candy, trying to get myself, find gravity and come back down to earth. But I didn't find it and I woke up. So it was really weird.
That is so weird. What were you feeling in it?
It was so, it was like a sense of desperation for sure, and a sense of sadness because my dad was like super random. It wasn't like there was nothing wrong. Like he wasn't going through any kind of health or medical issue or anything like that. It was just like he was that it was just another figure in that dream. So it was just it was really random. Maybe it was me growing up, going through puberty. Whatever, trying to find myself or something, and then feeling like a little bit more unsure of where I was going.
Wow. That's a beautiful dream though.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
In a dark way, but not necessarily.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, thank you.
I could see it so vividly, actually, like a dark night sky and like you floating. I could see it.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Loneliness too. I don't know. It's really poignant.
Thank you.
Yeah. Art.
Wow.
Yeah.
Make some art.
Okay. What's invisible but you wish people could actually see? I'll say that one again. What's invisible but you wish people could actually see?
My initial response to that was the level of morality that somebody has.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good point.
Like a Black Mirror episode of like, oh, what's their rating? In popularity, but differently so in morality.
Yeah. Like if you can trust someone or not.
Yeah.
Gosh, crazy. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't say germs because that'd be horrifying.
Everywhere.
God, coming out of our face. Yeah. Yeah, really glad we can't see that. I don't know. Spirits. Although that would be really freaky too.
That would be scary.
Yeah, for sure.
The future.
Oh.
Hmm.
I wonder how that would take place. Would that be like just kind of like what you see in front of you for like a moment and then you can kind of dial out of it? Or like, I wonder, right?
We need more information, Mark.
Yes, we do. And I don't have it. Oh, man. I'm kind of going to piggyback a little bit on what Christiana had said. I would like to be able to see someone's heart. Meaning, like, if you say, oh, if you seem like they have a really good heart and they're a really good-hearted person, but if I could actually see it from a scale of, like, a nice, good red heart here and, like, a black one over here and that whole interim in between and just know what it's like without having to try to guess it, I think that would be really interesting to know that someone's got a really black, darkened heart over here and someone over here actually is a good-hearted person. I think I'd love to take the invisibility away from that. Yeah. Off the top of my head right now. Okay, let's talk about this, which is kind of, it gets talked about a lot, but it's one of these questions that was like on every freaking website. What do you think of social media? Pros, cons, good, bad? And that could mean obviously Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, but I'd also throw in YouTube into that as well. What do you think? We're in that day and age, especially with people, musicians and artists and creatives. We all kind of have to use it to some degree to keep yourself out there. Well, at least that's how it's developed. You don't have to do it, but
yeah. I mean, I like it for that. And communication. It's just made communication, even though it's more difficult in some ways, a lot easier in other ways. So, I like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, even for the Alice tour, I've been able to get a hold of people because of social media that I wouldn't be able to. I don't know what people used to do like 30 years ago, when the internet didn't exist. You have to be on the phone or whatever, write people letters or something.
Write them a letter.
Wait 6 weeks and get a response back. I mean, yeah, it's made things a lot easier in that sense. And it's also nice, like for me with, former friends or family that are anywhere in the world, I can connect with them in real time and, do this kind of thing or a Zoom call or whatever it is. And also kind of get some little updates every now and then if they happen to post on Instagram or post on Facebook. It's kind of nice to know, so-and-so just had their baby or we just bought a new house or there's a lot of positives that can come from it instead of, all the other side of things that can also come with social media. So I think it's something that if it's used within, with moderation, I think it's really been something good.
Yeah. I think that social media is useful for when you want to spy on somebody and see what kind of personality they have and just see what their work is like and all of these different things that they've done. I think also that social media can be a cover or like a facade depending on which platform you're on. Like I know for sure, for example, my Instagram is kind of like a facade for my brand. Twitter, I try to curate a little bit more carefully what I say, depending on what industries I'm following. Facebook, it's more for networking, like solely for networking and, kind of following family members and friends every now and then and just trying to see what's up. As far as like YouTube or other platforms like TikTok or whatnot, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I think there is definitely some people use social networks to their advantage way more than I could ever fathom, for sure. especially when they're able to go viral and stuff. But for me, I just try to keep it more like it's more of like a branded experience, I think, on my end. Like it's like I'll just keep this, and if I get organic followers or whatever because of who I am, like that's cool with me.
Yeah, that's cool. It sounds like you have it pretty clear, actually.
Oh, I mean, I definitely like I am not a popular person by any means. Like I'm not popular. I just kind of, I still haven't found exactly what kind of content I like to put out there too. Like I'm still not quite sure. Is it going to be more music? Is it going to be more film related stuff? Like what is it going to be? And I think I just kind of shove everything into one portal and then like hope it hits something somewhere, Yeah. Still discovering it.
I found that I looked at your website and I loved it. Your comprehensive website.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love all the colors and the imagery you have on it. And I also relate to it because I relate to that, just what you're saying. It's like just throwing everything in one place.
Yeah.
When you do so much stuff and it all is so cool. Like what you do. You have a beautiful website, but I understand that issue with when it comes to the rest of social media. It's like, I don't know. You can't brand it all and have like a Instagrams,
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nichole. Yeah.
I love it. And that one shot of you is like epic.
Like once a year, I'm like, oh, better get dressed up and look right.
Take some cool shots, man. Yeah, that's fun though.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I can add into in terms of Christiana that I've known her for 11 years now, and she has very, very distinctive ideas in her head that she tries to get out through her art. And clearly, Nichole, you saw some of that on her website. Yeah, and anytime I look at it, and I still remember like the shot that you're talking about, Nichole, when I first saw it and some of the other shots from that shoot, it was like, that's Christiana. I mean, that is so uniquely her. The color scheme, like everything that was going on. I think one of them, you have like a bracelet on one wrist, but not on the other wrist. It's like, I think it's completely intentional what you did. And none of it was like left to chance whatsoever. And then when you see her play live with Paper Nova, when it's the full band, and there's a couple clips actually that I shot that are on YouTube. If you just search Paper Nova live or something, you'll see what she's wearing and her hairstyle and everything there's so much thought put into it that, again, there's nothing left to chance. She knows what she wants to present to the audience and to the world. And for me, it's been interesting watching that develop and grow and blossom over these 11 years that I've known her.
That's a long time.
I'll have to give a shout out to Anna Wong, who sometimes styles me, and then also especially Kurumi Uchino Schulz, who is the makeup artist that I work with all the time. So
awesome.
Yeah, they're really, really good.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great image.
So much. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, and then Christiana, did you mention to Nichole what you do in terms, well, not what you do, but what you just got something accepted into a film thingy? I don't want to say it for you.
I mean, like I worked on a short film a couple of years ago, and it finally got completed last year, and we've been like in this film festival circuit, and just very recently we got into Screamfest LA film festival, horror film festival, and it's like just a short 21 minute, or it's like this one in particular is 15 minutes, and it's about a man who loses his freedom to gain access to free healthcare.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what did you produce, direct, star? Were you?
I produced it, wrote it, and directed it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
So I love working with, I love collaborating with everybody, and I love knowing what everyone's talents and skill sets are, just so I can like work with you in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Very cool. So when does that film festival happen? Are they doing it virtually, or is it?
They are doing that one virtually in October, I believe, and then there were a couple of other film festivals that we got into that kind of got canceled or pushed out. So like I will definitely keep people posted about it just to see where we're at, especially because of this whole quarantine thing. So yeah.
Well, it's kind of a bummer, but at the same time, it still counts.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put this on my resume. You know.
Although there's something about going there and seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I miss the because one of the biggest things that I'm gonna feel like I'm missing out on is that interaction with other artists. And that's the thing. So like I'm glad that Mark was able to bring all of us together, like over time, all over all these interviews and like across the first leg of Alice's tour and the second leg of Alice's tour. And that's really awesome. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. I mean, I'm not going to speak on the behalf of Alice, but I believe they would say the same thing. That's their pleasure. Obviously, Nichole, you worked with Tosh, and I got to know the band 3 years ago, and so we're all kind of in the same arena, really, as creatives, as artists. Just hearing all of us talk tonight, we have our hands on so many different things. I know Nichole, and we talked on Tuesday. We said the exact same things. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And it's kind of like, yeah, and they're doing the exact same thing, and the people associated with them are doing multiple things. And then Christy, I'm a musician and artist and painter and filmmaker, and you all these. And you also have a tech side to you, just like Nichole has a tech side to her. There's lots of these things. There's so many similarities that. I used to think it was more of a rarity. Now I'm finding out it really isn't. We just got to find these people. We're out there. We just got to find more of them.
Crazy. Yeah. I never really met anyone that did so much like that. So that's awesome.
I'm so excited to like talk to you more, Nichole.
Yeah. Cool. And I mean, I feel like I just want to let you know your website works. So if you ever have that doubt that it's like, oh, it's too much stuff, it works. It flows together.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
As a little artist that, yeah, I feel you.
You know, what's interesting too, Christy, is that when I was sending out the link to your comprehensive site to, I think, Mariah and Anissa initially, that I don't think I even saw it before until I found it that way. And I'm like, because you actually sent it to me, I just kind of overlooked it or something. So I'm like, oh, she's got a comprehensive website. Let me go look at this. Yeah, and it was, again, so intentional when I looked at it, just like when Nichole said, it completely works. There's not too much, there's not too little, and it's just got this flavor to it, and it pops.
Yeah.
Thank you. Stop. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So keep on creating. Don't ever, doubt yourself. Everything is working in the right direction. And people are going to start coming to you instead of the other way around.
Cool.
Yes. Okay. Let's kind of get closer to wrapping this up. Oh, this is interesting. In 20 years, what will people be nostalgic for? So 20 years down the road, what are they going to be nostalgic? What are they going to be? Oh, I wish we could still do what we did back in, well, not 2020 maybe, but maybe in 2019 or in
20 years.
Yeah, so 20 years down the road, what would people be looking back and be nostalgic about? That's another kind of tough one.
That is a tough one. Maybe Netflix.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, who knows what we're going to be doing in 20 years in terms of entertainment and how we, access it.
Right. I mean, I feel like music changes pretty drastically every 20 years. It usually flip-flops between dance and then like dance songwriter. So like, the 70s went all dance, and then, the 80s it started getting more songwriting from the dance, and then you got the 90s started getting more dancey. Just seems like it flips-flops. So maybe I think we're going back into with Billie Eilish, it kind of feels like pop music's going a little bit back more into art. Dance music isn't art, but like a little more artsy, like singer-songwriter type. So maybe we'll miss that in 20 years because we'll be back into dance. I don't know. I'm making I do have degrees though.
I will never forget that one of my classmates back in school was like, in some sort of amount of years, our phones are just going to be on a piece of glass, that invisibly just like rolls out, and then you can be like, whatever. I mean, realistically though, maybe we will have more self-driving cars in the future. Like, 20 years out is like quite a long time. So I imagine maybe, and yeah, maybe we'll be like, hey, let's try to colonize the Mars, you know? Like we
I
will
really miss Earth.
we will forget what Earth is like.
That's crazy. That's true about the phones though. Elon Musk is like doing some stuff with like testing chips that will connect to a hard drive, not a hard drive, I don't know, like, you know, a computer interface. And they're doing it medically first. Obviously, it would have great implications medically for people with seizures or blindness or whatever can be fixed neurologically like that. But it will, his idea is that it will get to the point where you can connect it to a.
Wow.
Oh, that's right, because they have those bionic contacts now, right?
Do they?
I think they're like they're doing a lot of research on that. I don't know how they're trying to figure out like if it's gonna burn up your eyeball or not.
Oh gosh, yes. I don't know about any of that. I don't want like waves messing in my brain.
But yeah, it's crazy stuff. Yeah.
I didn't know that about the eye stuff. I believe it.
Wow.
Technology is amazing.
Yeah, I think only based on the way we seem to be going, and if it's 20 years from now, so that'll make me, what, 70? Good grief. I think we're going to be nostalgic for the type of weather we have now, even though it's starting to change because of climate change. I think it's going to be that much worse 20 years from now. I say, well, remember when you had blue skies in the summer, and maybe summer will be gray or something off that we don't normally have now, depending on where you live. And I think it's just going to be that much more extreme 20 years from now, and you're going to be flashing back to those. It could be that, it could be winter with snow, or just anything that actually felt like the seasons that weren't forced. But I think 20 years from now, it's going to be just almost like something from a movie. That's just not going to be the weather that you can even relate to if you live during this time.
That's tough. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, because I'm already starting to feel it a little bit now. It's depending, you know, of what we never used to be, you know, like getting 2 weeks of snow here in Seattle, or having days when it goes over 100 degrees in the summer. It's like everything's getting pushed, climate-wise up here at least. So I think 20 years is going to be like, ooh. Okay, let's see. We're at about an hour and 11 minutes.
Wow.
And that means, Nichole, it's past midnight where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do like another couple questions, and we'll kind of call it a session, I think. And let's see. Where'd that other question go? Well, okay, so this kind of goes to what Nichole's divulged tonight. If aliens landed on Earth tonight and offered to take you to their home, would you go, and why?
Depends on what alien race, because there are more than one. There are the reptilians, there are the Greys, there are the Nordic aliens, agendas, there's the tall whites. So which race?
Wow.
You're talking about Greys, like the little Greys.
I think so. I don't know. This is a question from the internet. So I don't know. We'll go with that, though. That makes sense to me.
Okay, so the Greys apparently are us. Or no, they're not us. I'm sorry. They're a race that was like us. And then they evolved past their emotions. And they have come back to Earth in order to reintroduce human DNA into their DNA by abducting us and taking it and fertilizing and creating hybrid babies so they can regain their emotion. This is canon for ufologists and ufology, just, you know, but that is what they say. So not the Greys. No, I would not go with them.
No torture.
Wow. That's such an informed answer. I
wasted way too much time.
I can't even come close to that answer. I was looking more just from a simplistic point of view. Christiana, what do you think? How would you answer that?
I mean, assuming that I don't get tortured, like I would love to take a trip and see what's going on. I mean, I'd have to like work it out with like my family and stuff here, like have a schedule, like have an itinerary, you know. It's like, do I get to come back? If I don't come back, then can I, figure some stuff out here? I think it'd be interesting for sure. I'd be, yeah, why not? No.
And what about a Doctor Who type alien? I would definitely go with Doctor.
Oh.
He's an alien.
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
David Tennant.
David Tennant. I was just gonna say David Tennant. David Tennant. No questions asked. We're done. I'm gone.
Oh. I overthink things too much. So from when I saw that question initially on the internet, I wanted to know, like, do I get to come back? Because this is, they're going to take you to their home. Am I stuck there? Is that a one-way ticket? I don't get to come back to Earth? Because if that was the case, I wouldn't go. But if it was like you can come for a day and then you get sent back to Earth, yeah, I'd go. But then I'd be taking, like, obviously Nichole's kind of enlightened us that I might be really putting myself in a bad spot depending on which aliens are bringing me to whichever home. It could be, not a pleasant experience for me. So we'll have to see if that ever actually happens to anybody.
Yeah, apparently it has.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's see here. So I actually asked this question during the first fun table that we did, and with the two of you, I'm going to take myself out of this.
Okay.
If you had to come up with a name for your, let's say, your duo in terms of your artistic entity right now, if you had a name for yourselves, for Christiane and Nichole, what would you guys call yourselves?
Oh, I like it. I don't know. Oh, what are you drinking? Wine, so maybe something with wine in it. I'm drinking black cherry coffee water. We could be cherry wine coffee.
Ooh.
Cherry wine.
Cherry wine. Mm.
In one word. Cherry wine.
Cherry wine.
That works.
I just know Christiana has to come up with one too. I can't just.
I was like really trying to work it out in my brain. Extraterrestrial girls. I don't know. Extraterrestrial girls. Extraterrestrial. I mean, like I was trying to think of like a dynamic duo type, And I'm not really
like
on the spot.
That was better than mine, though.
No. Cherry.
No. Cherry extraterrestrial.
Cherry.
Winestrials.
Winestrials. Oh, that's because is that what they're called? Like a kestrel or something? It's kind of like a bard, or I forget what they're called.
Oh,
like
minstrel.
A minstrel, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, I like the minstrels. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
We went weird, but we came back. Okay.
Yeah.
The minstrels.
The minstrels.
No.
Minstrels. Oh.
Minstrels. That sounds bad. I like the minstrels. We're going with that.
The minstrels.
Yeah.
There we go. And Christiane, do you remember what you guys came up with for your name? The first round of the fun table. I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember what the name was.
Oh.
I'll have to go back and watch the video of it because I don't remember what you came up with.
It was like the Quarantinas.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Oh, that's a fun question.
Yeah.
Well, Nichole and Christiana, it's been such a pleasure doing the fun table round 3, wherever my camera is, with all of you tonight. And this has been the longest one. It's at 1 hour and 18 minutes. And I think it was perhaps the best one yet. So thank you for taking the time. And I have a feeling there's going to be a round 4. And I've told Christiana and other people that I'm not locked into being 2 people or 3 people. I could have 4 or 5, as long as it's the right kind of combination of personalities and backgrounds. That's what I'm going with. I haven't had a male guest come into this. I actually reached out to one who wants to do it. So who knows what's going to kind of come up down the road. But I thank you so much for being part of my live inaugural live stream for Eclectic Arts. You're going to have that distinction forever, whether you want it or not. And I hope you guys just have stay safe and have a really good night. So thank you so much for taking the time tonight.
Yay! Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see you on social media.
All right. Have a good night.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.